was wondering what goes on in the mind of a comic that has to be somewhat addicted to the relationship with the crowd.
Oh yeah, pure depression. This has been a roller coaster of depression. I was actually much more worried. I was worried that I was going to sink into like a depressive episode, because not only is it my lifestyle, I've been doing it almost every single night since I was 16 years old. But I think, how do I say this? Like, there's a lot of like chemicals that happen just from getting on stage, performing, getting laughs. You know, I'm not smart enough to know what they all are, but let's say like adrenaline and endorphins and all that crap. And it is like, drugs. And I do think that doing that over and over and over again, just like a real drug, and then stopping does cause some kind of withdrawal. And I'm not here like just crying on my bed every day, but I am uncomfortable. And I am like, I'm both like worried for the future of my career and my finances, because I have no other skill. Like, I did put all my eggs in this basket, and I was shocked it worked the first time. And now that comedy's kind of dead, I'm like, oh, I could see how my parents were like, this isn't a good idea. Like, the whole time I was like, you don't know, I'll prove you wrong. And then for like truly like 6 years, as I was like doing financially okay and touring the world, I was like, told them. And then coronavirus happens. I was like, they are older and they do know things, and I should have listened. It's like, I was like, I really kind of told them they were wrong, but I could see how like they didn't know about the pandemic, but I think they were like, something could happen. So I'm worried. I'm sad. Like, I wouldn't say I've hit like I've cried sporadically while doing dishes. I think everybody has. Like, I don't think
if you're washing your own dishes by hand, everybody's crying.
Yeah, but it's like, it's usually I cry on the subway because that's when I have alone time. But honestly, like, there is this when I really think about what's going on, and I think truly, like, without putting on the filters, like, those like self-help book positive, it's going to work out and everything happens for a reason. When I take that little filter off, my mind goes to a dark place, and I go, you need to find another skill, and you need to pivot. Like, you need to adapt, because this might go on for a long time. And like, I've been joking since day one of this that I'm not essential. Like, I told my mom, I remember telling my mom this years ago. I go, I know during the apocalypse, I will have no value, but I think I have some time. And now I'm like, oh, I was right, except for the time part, because I'm not saying we're useless. I know people value comedy and blah, 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 but how my life is set up as somebody that is truly a traveling clown. Like, I was traveling up until mid-March, and I had to cancel I was in Europe, and I had to cancel the rest of the gig and fly home. I have not been home more than a week in years. I mean, on average, I'm on an airplane or in a car every couple of days. There's weeks where I'm in a new city every day. So my life is travel. My life is going from place to place and performing for people. I make 90% of my income from live performances. Everybody's being like, you should do Zoom shows, you should do Zoom shows. And I have, and I am, but I've had to adapt to them, because people don't understand that if I do a Zoom show and you're like, anybody from around the world can come. Sure. But then the next time you see me, all my material. Like, it takes anywhere from 2 weeks to a couple of months to polish one joke. And if you saw it now, and then I try to go to your place, let's say 6 months from now, maybe I'll have some new material, but I won't have an hour of new material. So there's also a creativity that has to come into play when everybody has access to this thing that was somewhat sacred before, and also takes a really long time to polish. Like, we expect a musician we like to come out with a new album every couple of years, but like the whole time they're trying to make it, and that's how stand-up is. I think music, they kind of hoard it and then they release it and then they tour with it. We are polishing it in front of people the whole time. And then we release the polished, like the main big polished hour afterwards. But it's been a hard process, both to do alone, on Zoom, and then also with knowing that I don't know when this will be normal again, if ever.